What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now today I have an unboxing and first impressions on this boot right here, the Mizuno Morelia 2 made in Japan. Now I actually never had a pair of Mizuno Morelia 2s. I've had like other Mizunos, but I never tried like just the Mizuno Morelia. And I feel for the most part I know how this boot's going to feel just because it is an all leather boot. And I know it's going to be really comfortable and it's going to be really high quality just because it is Mizuno, obviously. So here in the box we do have the made in Japan version. So it does come in the made in Japan box. It's all black with like this gold. We do have a label which kind of shows the boot itself. And I actually like that it does show the boot. And here we have US size 9, which is my size. Alright, so I already did kind of look at these and unbox them. I was just excited. So here we have a string bag, which you can't really wear. It's just like a boot bag, and it's all black. Something that I'm surprised by is that they don't include like a leather care kit anymore. Before in Mizuno, like made in Japan products, they did include like a tube of leather, like leather cream, as well as like a microfiber cloth. And that did come in like previous like Mizuno made in Japan models. I believe I had one in the Rebula V3, but I feel like since then I haven't really gotten any made in Japan products like that are leather. And so here we actually don't have that, which I'm actually surprised by just because this being a full leather boot, like you would think that they would include it, but they actually don't. And then we just have the boots themselves. Now this colorway is very bright. Obviously it's like all like this electric green Volt colorway, which honestly I don't mind. It's kind of weird to have a colorway in this type of boot just because this is more like a classic, and so obviously I guess it would look better with an all white or all black or something just like a low key colorway. But this one just, I don't know, I just really liked it just because it's a very bright colorway and a very like old style boot, I guess, and it just looks great in my opinion. I just really like it, and I like this hint of like it's kind of like red orange color and like a little bit of silver here in the heel. Overall, I really like this color. So for me, this colorway is a 10 out of 10. Let me know what you guys think in the comments though. Alright, so the Mizuno Morelia 2, there isn't really much to talk about in terms of like tech specs and stuff like that, just because this boot is basically all leather and it's a full kangaroo leather upper. It's very soft, very premium feeling in hand. You guys can see that the leather is very soft. Look how like the wrinkles that it has as I push down the upper, and the upper will just get even softer as I just use them and play with them. So this is just very high quality leather, and Mizuno products, like made in Japan products, are always like high quality. They always have amazing quality in terms of leather, and the build quality is also insane. And here in the midfoot, it's still leather, but we do get this like synthetic overlays here in the Runbird logo, and so that kind of just is going to help with lockdown and not allowing this part of the upper to overstretch, which is a good thing. I feel like it'll just add a little bit more stability, so that kind of makes it a little bit more modern compared to like an Adidas Copa Mundial, just because you do have a little bit more lockdown, I feel like, with this Runbird logo. Also, the leather found here on the sides, it is a bit thinner compared to like what is found in the toe box, I feel like, but it's still nice and soft. You guys can see how like soft this leather is. But yeah, I could feel a difference between like this area and like this area. This area is a little bit thinner compared to like the toe box, but honestly I don't think you're gonna feel a difference when you do have it on feet. Now here in the heel we do have a nice, it's not a suede, it's more like a nubuck material, I would say. I know in other colorways they do have like a gray suede or like a black suede, but in this colorway they actually have like a nubuck material. It kind of feels a little, not fuzzy, but it's not a leather liner. It's for sure like a nubuck. I feel like it will still grip your heel. I kind of wish that they used the suede liner just because I feel like that one just feels a little bit more premium. But this is still pretty good. This does have some padding to it. Not a crazy amount, which is kind of interesting. But obviously I feel like it will do a good job of holding on your foot. You guys can see there is like a little bit of padding here that goes around. And I feel like that's just gonna lock your heel in place. For the most part, I feel like Mizuno always has great heels, and I feel like it's always a pretty deep and it just fits great. So I'm not really worried about not having so much padding here in the back. And like I said, this material is a little bit different compared to other Mizuno's Morelia 2s that I have seen, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. The tongue here is a bit different. I'm actually not sure if the tongue is a leather material. It feels kind of not plasticky, but it does have like some shine to it. You guys can see how it kind of reflects compared like to like this leather right here. So this might be a synthetic leather or it might not. It does have like this neoprene like backing to it with some foam. It's kind of hard to tell. There we go. You guys can see here like this material here. It's like this foam material, and so that's backing the entire tongue. So I feel like it's not leather, but it still feels pretty good. It's nice and padded. It matches like the thickness of the leather, so I feel like it's still gonna feel pretty good on feet. And the laces here, something that I don't like about Mizuno is that their laces are kind of like chunky and thick, and so I probably will be changing these laces just because I don't really like them. So, but yeah, that's like something really tiny and small. Now moving on to the outsole, and this is what kind of makes it a little bit more modern, like the materials that being used in this outsole. Just because obviously, when you're looking at this, it might seem like old school, it might seem heavy, but the new like materials and new plastics being used are a bit lighter, and so the boot overall isn't really heavy. I feel like it sits at the 8 ounce mark, I believe, in a size 9 or like around there. So in hand, like it doesn't really feel that heavy, which I'm actually surprised by. The Soleplate itself does have some stiffness to it. It's not overly flexible. Like here in the midfoot, it feels pretty secure. Here in the toe box, it feels pretty, responsive, I would say. For me, it's not overly stiff, so I kind of like that. And here with the stud pattern, they are all conical and they're a little bit on the thicker side. You guys can see the circumference is a bit thicker compared to like the Mizuno Morelia, which are a bit thinner. And I feel like these will be really good in FG as well as AG. So you guys can see here in the toe as well in the heel, they have these metal rivets. So this sole plate is riveted to the upper. So that's just going to increase the durability of this boot. And Mizuno products are usually very durable. Like I have my Mizuno Wave Unitas 4s that I've been using, and those are tanks. Like I still use them, and nothing has happened to them. They haven't ripped, no sole separation. So these will probably still like hold up for a really long time. All right, so now we'll move on to an on-feet portion, so I can talk about the fit as well as the sizing. Alright guys, so here I have the Mizuno Morelia Neo 2 on feet, and as expected, these just fit so great. They're just so comfortable straight out of the box. Like, it's a full leather upper, so they're just going to be really soft. Like, the leather is nice and soft. You guys can see how just my toes wiggle. The upper is just extremely comfortable, like, as expected with, like, Mizuno quality leather. They're just fantastic. I can't complain about anything. The heel feels nice and soft. There's no movement whatsoever. And these just fit amazing. Like, I don't know what else to say. I will say the only thing that kind of surprised me is like the Runbird logo here on the sides. Just because when I did tie the laces tight, I actually kind of felt like this like Runbird logo hugging my foot a little bit more. And it's not really like uncomfortable. It doesn't hurt in any way. I was just kind of surprised that it does provide a good like lock-in sensation from like the sides. Like when you tie the laces tight, those like Runbird logos really hug your midfoot, which kind of feels nice. I actually really like that sensation. It just feels a little bit more secure, and they're not uncomfortable anyway. It was just a little bit more noticeable than I actually thought, and that's actually kind of good, I think, in my opinion. In terms of sizing, I would recommend going true to size, and you should be good. These fit perfectly. I feel like these boots will fit basically anyone. It is leather, so the upper will stretch, and yeah, it's gonna just form to the shape of your foot. So I would recommend these to anyone. These actually feel pretty light on feet, which is kind of weird just because it is a full leather boot and you don't really expect it, so it kind of throws me off a little, like in my head, that these are kind of light and it's just a full leather boot. Yeah, nothing negative to say about these boots, like on feet. Super comfortable, and I would highly recommend if you guys are just looking for the most comfortable boot, these are probably it right here. Alright, so I'll just leave you guys with my final thoughts. So overall, the Mizuno Morelia 2 feels fantastic. It's such a good boot. Like an all leather boot just feels great. You're going to get a customized fit just because the leather will stretch and form to the shape of your foot. If you have a wide foot, this is an excellent option just because, like I said, it will stretch. I feel like these Runbird logos actually do a really good job of like kind of securing your midfoot. So I'm very curious to see how it's going to feel. I feel like the performance is going to be really good just because, like I said, you really do feel that like these two Runbird logos kind of hugging you. So I'm super excited to try these. I will be doing a play test and I'll upload it as soon as I can. So that's it for today's video. If you guys have any questions on this boot, make sure to leave them in the comments. If I did miss anything, just let me know. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you're notified for future videos as well as the play test for these. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.